YouTube, hey, say hi to Twitch. Twitch, say hi to YouTube. It's that time. It's that time. Chess.com has released the Hans Niemann report. It's about to get crazy.
He needs some milk.
It's about to get crazy, right? Okay, the Hans Niemann report was dropped today, October 4th, right now, 9:54 p.m. This is about 5 hours ago when it dropped, or it really is. Oh, well, shoot, it said 4 p.m. You know what? 4 p.m. I guess it was East Pacific time, PT time. So here it's 7 p.m. my time, where I'm in Eastern. I just want to make it clear, I never cheated in chess. 1800 Muppets. What up, 1800 Mups? Yo, so here is the report. Full report, 72 pages.
Bruh.
I ain't reading all of that, but we are going to read some of it, chat. In fact, some of the big parts in here. So, right, let's first read this. Of course, I actually saw Hikaru. Make sure you check out Hikaru's recap as well. I always shout out my guy 100%. Make sure y'all go to Hikaru's channel, check out his recap. I watched a lot about that. I also read this myself. I highly recommend you read it. I'm also going to link it in the YouTube, and I'll also link it here at Twitch right now in the description on YouTube, and then Twitch in the chat, so y'all can read it yourself if you want to see this and read the whole thing yourself. But it's 72 pages. You got to be out your mind if you think I'm about to read all these. So we're gonna read a lot of them though. So here we go. Okay, so we appreciate your patience over the last several weeks, as we have been working on a comprehensive report on Hans Niemann and the events following Magnus's resignation in 2022 Singfield Cup. We know many of you have been eager to hear from chess.com, and while there is more we want to research around the topic, we present to you this report on our findings so far. Right, findings so far. Our report has first referenced by the Wall Street Journal article published in October 4th, 2022. There is a Wall Street Journal article that, again, actually Hikaru covered that one. I was at the gym. Shout out to the gym goers, right? Hopefully y'all going to the gym. If not, that's okay. You can start tomorrow. But here, Wall Street Journal, I was at the gym and I was watching Hikaru actually go over the Wall Street Journal article, in fact, and speaking with Naroditsky, in fact. So it definitely was fire there. So that was cool, and that's what they're talking about. Our report was first referenced from this. So make sure y'all check this out. Okay, and Wall Street Journal has a article about it. We know that while we are answering some questions here, more questions will surface, and we look forward to answering all of them soon. This is from Eric and Big Danny. All right, here we go. This is the Hans Niemann report. We're going to read a few things, probably this, not the mission, maybe the timeline. There's also a conclusion in here that I remember reading, and a few other things. So let's see what we got. All right, Hans Niemann report. Now, this is what it says. Chess.com's current research and findings, October 2022. Over the last few weeks, the world has been following the major story regarding Hans Niemann, Magnus Carlsen, and cheating in chess. This has become a matter of significant public interest, both inside and outside the chess world, and we present in this report our exploration of the events, circumstances, and data that have informed Chess.com's decisions concerning the current controversy, as well as the issue of cheating in chess more generally. Okay. KYLO, what's up, KYLO? Yo, what's up? What's good? Yo, it's 72 pages. Yeah, we're not reading all of this. You have lost your mind.
Bruh.
If you think we're about to read all of these on stream or on YouTube or on anything, right? I didn't read all of these in my own time. I was like, yo, I'm just about to like I read a lot of these, but I'm not reading all of these, right? So, okay, here we go. At the outset, we want to make clear that while these events highlight a critical topic in chess, cheating, the vast majority of chess games do not involve any cheating. That's fire. Okay, that's good to know, right? Always good to know. So, we estimate that fewer than 0.14% of players on chess.com ever cheat. Wow, not even 1%. And that our events are by and large free from cheating. We firmly believe that cheating in chess is rare, preventable, and much less pervasive than is currently being portrayed in the media. With that background, the following is a brief summary of our findings and takeaways. Okay, here's the first one. Chat. So first, let me read the chat, see what we got. Let me see. Does Hans cheating in the Chess Pro League affect his standing with FIDE? I mean, look, it's tough, man. It's a lot going on with that. Like, you got to go back, pull numbers, do this. Was he cheating this? There's so many things. Then also, if you listen earlier, right, Hikaru and Naroditsky, like, there's certain moves Like, you don't cheat the whole game. It'd be like 2, 3 moves, which that's undetectable in a way. It's very difficult. In fact, even in this article, I read some stuff, even from Magnus, that said something crazy that I think we'll come by it and read it. And it was like, that was insane for me to hear from Magnus about him. Like, if I was able to do that kind of thing. But it was just, maybe no, that was not Magnus. Sorry, it was Maxim. Maxim. Oh my goodness. Bruh. Wait till you see the Maxim Delugi comment. I just saw Max, right? But in fact, wait till you see this Delugi comment in here. I was like, wow. Yeah, Magnus has some good quotes. Yeah, he does. But Delugi got a quote in here that I was like, bro, when did you say this? What? Oh, like, it's very weird. It's a very weird quote that he has in here. I highly recommend you go check it out. Gotham quote. Yeah, it's over there in the Gotham quote. Correct, which we'll go by. It's on page 8. Perfect. Thank you for letting me know. Jace, what up? Thanks for the follow. All right, so here we go. So with the background, the following is a brief summary of our findings and takeaways. All right, here he is. We present evidence in this report that Hans likely cheated online much more than his public statements suggest. However, while Hans has had a record-setting and remarkable rise in rating and strength, in our view, there is a lack of concrete statistical evidence that he cheated in his game with Magnus. Woo! Or any other OTB in-person games. Basically, with all that being said, it still ain't no evidence that is, or substantial evidence to say that he cheated in the OTB game, in the over-the-board game, right? This is where everything, like the craziest things going on is with the OTB game, right? And the beads and this and that, and like, well, it's easy to do, right? Exactly, and that's what I got from this, is after reading this, I was like, well, there's still no evidence. At the end of the day, there's like still no evidence that he cheated over the board. But there are some things that are showing, like, for instance, even like, fast forward. Let me just fast forward. I'm going to go back up, but I want to scroll to a part right here. This right here, and I remember Hikaru said this, is basically like saying, you know, look at this. Hans is better. According to this, Hans is even better than Bobby Fischer. How? Like, right? I mean, it could be, you know, like there are people like that, but this is saying that Hans is better than Bobby, better than Fencer, like the highest rise, right? Like, this is a huge thing. There's something going on. There's obviously, and Hikaru said this too. He said, it's not even close. Look at the percentage better. There's something going on. I mean, it's just weird. It's just strange. It's very strange, right? It's very strange. It's very strange, and I do realize that it is very strange. The data does say that, but again, at the end of the day, what do we have that says he did it over the board? For instance, in the poker situation, for guys who watch poker, I don't even watch no poker. Y'all know we got command culture. I'll only be studying chess. But I was scrolling on Facebook and saw something about a poker story that said, "Oh, chess is cheating. Look at the poker thing, right? Poker girl, something happened." I'm sure y'all seen this for the poker players out there, that she did something crazy happened. Some device was being used, and then freaking like the money had to be given back, like crazy stuff, right? So I remember seeing that, you know, and now we have this, right? Things to follow. So go right, chess and poker, right? Yeah, right. That poker call was wild, right? Call with a jack high, yeah, right, exactly, something like that. So there's something's different, but okay, the OTB thing, still no evidence. There's still no evidence. Let's read it again, right? We present this evidence in this report that Hans likely cheated online much more than his public statements suggest. However, while Hans has a record-setting and remarkable rise in rating and strength, in our view, there is lack of concrete statistical evidence that he cheated in his game with Magnus or any other OTB in-person games. We're presenting our findings here and will cooperate with FIDE on any further investigation. We were never pressured by Magnus or his team whatsoever to remove Hans from chess.com or revoke his invitation to the CGC, chess.com Global Championship, nor did we communicate with Magnus regarding our decisions on these issues before we made them. In fact, Magnus did not even know we were going to remove Hans until Hans went public with our private correspondence. We uninvited Hans from our upcoming major online, guys, event and revoked his access to our site based on our experience with him in the past. So this is different, right? It's still different. The online thing and the OTB is still separated, right? Still separated, where, you know, there's lots of suspicions and this and that, but on the how, I mean, it's literally crazy. We need some evidence for OTB. Growing suspicions among top players and our team about his rapid rise of play the strange circumstances and explanations of his own win, of his win over Magnus, as well as Magnus's unprecedented withdrawal. In order to have more time to investigate the OTB situation and our internal concerns, we uninvited Hans from our event and prevented his access to chess.com. We are open to continuing a dialogue with Hans to discuss his status on chess.com. Okay. We believe that chess organizers, federations, companies, and players can all work together more effectively to create great and assuredly fair chess events. Okay. Interesting. Wow. Yeah, he can't make a video for every page. Yeah, he said we might do a series of like 7 videos, right? Like, what up, LJ? Was good. You can just keep trying to maybe she's thanks for the follow Road to Machine. Yeah, so right, we have all this here, of course. I mean, this is a very, very extensive report. 72 pages. 72 pages of this. I am going to link it. Make sure you guys read it on yourself. But I mean, at the end of the day, a quick summary is there is no OTB evidence yet. And that is crazy to say, but there is no OTB evidence yet.
Bruh.
That's it. Ain't no OTB evidence, but there is everything that they're basically releasing, obviously. So mission, of course, timeline of events. This is important, right? So 2022, Magnus Carlsen with the white pieces and Hans with black play a game at the Singfield Cup in St. Louis, which Hans wins. Hans gives a post-game interview. Magnus tweets his withdrawal from the event, linking to a video clip in which soccer manager can be heard saying, "I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I'm in big trouble." Chess.com emails Hans privately to let him know that his account had been discreetly closed and his invitation to CGC has been withdrawn. A copy of the email is attached in Exhibit A, so you can go look at this. It's a copy of it in there. It has historically been Chess.com's general policy to handle account suspicions / closures and invitations for title players such as Hans in a non-public manner. September 6th, boom. Hans publicly addresses his ban by chess.com, stating that although he cheated a few years ago when he was 12, and 16, he has never cheated in a tournament with prize money when I was streaming or in a real game. September 8th, chess.com sends Hans a letter personally laying out the reasons for decisions to revoke his status on chess.com and to disinvite him to CGC, a copy in which is attached in Exhibit B. Chess.com responds to Hans' public comment via tweet in this image right here, as you see, and we've all seen this. If you're on Twitter, absolutely make sure you follow me on Twitter, Jim Canty on there, right? I'm on everything. So here, Twitter, right? This was on Twitter. I've seen this, like, this was everywhere. This had this out, right? Last few days has been tumultuous for many in the chess community. At this time, we have reached out to Hans Niemann to explain our decision to privately remove him from chess.com in our events. We have shared detailed evidence with him concerning our decision, including information that contradicts his statements regarding the amount and seriousness of his cheating on chess.com. We have invited Hans to provide an explanation and response with the hope of finding a resolution where Hans can again participate on chess.com. We want nothing more than to see the best chess players in the world succeed in the greatest events. We will always act to protect the integrity of the game that we all love. That's from Danny Wrench, CCO. Chief Chess Officer. September 27th, right? Magnus releases the statement. His unprecedented professionalism decision to withdraw from the Singfield Cup. He indicates that he believes Niemann has cheated more and more recently than he has publicly admitted. Fire, bro. This is spicy stuff. This is now you all caught up, right? So you all caught up, and then you have this report. So let me see. This is the basis of our decision. So this is basically like the decision of them removing them, right? And like they talked about removing him from that. I think this is good. Obviously, you should read this. Hans cheating on chess.com. Right? There's a lot about him cheating on chess.com. I thought this was very interesting right here. Which, you know, I remember Hikaru said like or just talking about people, period. Of like, you know, US championship is here, bro.
Bruh.
US championship is here. So like, you know, a lot of times I think Hikaru said that understanding that somewhere in the article here it says that Hans is basically the highest rising star ever in chess, right? So having that in your head when you're trying to play is just very difficult. It's nerve-wracking. You almost can't play. In fact, at your best, at your optimal, because you understand you're playing the highest rising star that may be cheating somehow. Is he what? Like, you're supposed to be focused on the game, right? So there's so much that can happen. So a lot of times he was saying like, are people even going to play him, right? So it's very difficult. Very difficult, right? It's pretty crazy. Now look at the cheating here though. That really, now of course this was I was like, okay, 2015, 2017, like the quit, but the most recent is what I mean. 2020. That's only 2 years ago. That's only 2 years ago, right? That's only 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Like every game suspicion, games in event match, right? This says that like number of games and number of games likely cheated in. Now, of course, this doesn't mean, you know, right? Look at that. Benjamin Bach, 6 out of 6. He cheated in every game. Is what likely. Yeah, of course, Danya, I actually watched that with Danya and Hikaru analyzing that. And actually in those games, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. It could have been 1 or 2 moves. The whole time it was very hard to tell, bro. It was very, very hard to tell. I was like, wow, this is like, I mean, if he's cheating, he's doing some absolute next level cheating. Like, there's some absolute next level cheating going on. It's next level. It's next level. If he is. Thank you, Anita. Wow, that's crazy. She linked it in the chat. Buzz. Buzz. Oh man, that's funny. That's funny there. Wow. 900 cheating, yeah. So, all right, we have this. Obviously, talking about, you know, he got some messages from Hans. You can check that out yourself there. Messages from Hans. How to cheat detection works. Right, we're not going to read this. You can obviously read this, but we're not going to read that part. Let me see. Cheat detection, selective cheating. Okay. Oh, here. So this right here is amazing. So right here, these are the quotes that really got me. And the one from Maxim, like, I mean, if I didn't know anything about Maxim DeLugia and the cheating thing, I'd be like, wow, like that's crazy that he knows this information. But now that I know this information, like before we read this, now that I know the information about Maxim, I'm like, there's got to be, I'm like, you know, putting 2 and 2. What's up, BJ? Thanks for the 14, bro. You're right. Pretty sure Canty could take this guy's SCC match. Okay, no, it's not. It's not get ahead of ourselves. My saber will hit that man very hard. But at the same time, if you know, we would like to see something like that. So the DeLugia quote was, bro, this was a serious thing that he said. Because now that I know about him, like once you know, and you're like, oh, that he did this, he did that, wow. And then you see the comments. And it's like, wow. And then I go back to what Magnus said about like how, oh, your coach helped you. Haha. Watch what Maxim says. Now let's read the rest of these first though. Top players. This is from Levy. Shout out to Levy Raz out here. Big Levy in a Chevy. Top players only need to cheat 3 times a game. Literally. Top players know so much about the position that if you even insinuate that they might be better or worse, they might find the right move. But they really only need to cheat 1 or 2 times. This is from Levy. Next one is from Magnus. Had I started cheating in a clever manner, I am convinced no one would notice. I would have just needed to cheat 1 or 2 times during the match, and I would not even need to be given moves just to answer on which move was way better. Or here, there is a possibility of winning. And here you need to be more careful. That is all I would need in order to almost be invincible. That is a scary quote. That's scary for chess. Now, right now, chess is going to be the best it's ever been because people are going to lock everything down. Everything about to be locked down, boy. Everything about, I mean, you're going to have to come in the provided suit that they give you. Like here, you have to wear this to the round, right? That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to wear this to the round, right? This is what you got to wear. You know what I'm saying? They give you a full uniform. Because like this is really about to hire TSA, exactly right. But I mean, he says all I would need to in order to be invincible. That is scary, which does frighten me. From Magnus Carlsen. Wow. Next quote. Chess Life. Former world champion Vishwanathan Anand said that 1 bit per game, 1 yes/no answer about whether a sacrifice is sound could be worth 150 rating points. Susan Pogar. Cheating is a big Pogar. Big Pogar. Cheating is a big Pogar, big problem, both online and OTB. Big Pogar, right? That is funny. Unfortunately, many people believe that cheating equals every move. 1 to 2 or 3 hints per game would be more than enough for some to become IMs or GMs or even win big tournaments. There are so many ways to cheat without ever being caught. Very sad, says GM Susan Polgar. This one right here, y'all ready for this? Here we go, chat.
He needs some milk.
This is the quote of the whole thing. This one right here, man, this one right here let me know that you know some stuff, and maybe they working together. Now, obviously, there's theories like, what if he's not cheating at all? What if there's nothing? What if there's nothing? Okay, then there's nothing. But what if there is? This would be a huge part of it because of what this guy might know. And it goes back to the Magnus statement that Magnus was like, you know, oh, shout out to your coach, right? Maxim for helping you, right? You know, and there's two sides to this. So read this, watch. I watched him very carefully when he played his move. Knight b7 against Sarek. He took 10. I don't know who he was talking about, but he took 10 seconds. It was a 5 to 10 minute thing, in my modest opinion, since the knight could take on f5 instead. But when he decided in 10 seconds, I was shocked. He doesn't know when to put on the theatrics. You have to be strong enough to do that. If I had this gadget, right, I would be killing people left and right and nobody would know. This is a real danger. Because if a 2600 player has this thing, he knows exactly how to behave. He knows exactly when to think. And he doesn't need to use it more than 4 times during a game. Bro, this is very specific. This is very specific, bro. You know a lot about this, bro. You know a lot about this, bro. That's plenty to destroy anyone. At the critical junction, you switch it on and find out which way to go. Oh, this little nuance I didn't see. Okay, fine, boom, goodbye, that's it. At the point, you may think for a long time, although you know the move. But this guy doesn't know. He's just mechanically playing the first move of the computer. Everyone is a clown to him. He says, Kirill Georgiev put me in a bunker with him and I will destroy him. The guy has no moral compunction. He's absolutely immortal. Yo, that one, I don't know. Like, it sounded like he did expose a lot about himself there, Valerius. But, I mean, it also could be just a thing because we have knowledge on him now. Like, if we heard this from him and didn't know that all his history, then, like, it'd be like, wow, that's very information. But now that we know his history and he says this, it's like, oh, hold on, bro. You know, what's really going on? Right, so this is very important. I thought that this was fire. This was like, oh, snap. Like, is he saying something? Are you telling us, like, this is how it's going on? Or, like, how do you know this? Like, this is a lot. This is a lot, bro. This is a lot. Oh, they talked about the strength score here. This is good to look at, the strength score. And look at how many GMs here, right? Anonymous confessed GM. These are all grandmasters that have cheated before, right? Hans Niemann, 2020 here. His was down to 85.50 or whatever. So, on the strength score. Hans OTB rise. They talked a little bit about the rise here. Here, right here, we talked about this before. Remember, Hikaru vividly was saying, like, look, basically this chart is saying that he is better than Bobby Fischer. Bruh. He's better than everyone. He's had the most meteoric rise in the history of chess. Now, let me you know, play on both sides here. Number one, there's going to be someone in the history of chess that's going to actually do that, right? Correct, right? That's going to happen. At some point, it's going to happen. That's what I thought about. I was like, well, that is probably going to happen, like, eventually, maybe. Like, I mean, it's likely to happen. But also, the improvement at how and the rate that it's happening, a huge amount. I mean, a huge, absolutely destroying everybody else. That is definitely a little fishy there. Definitely some stuff going on there as well, especially with the cheating accusations. This doesn't, the numbers don't look good, to say the least. It does not look good, but there is no proof still, OTB. There is no proof still over the board. Strength gaining during the last 2 years, right? 2.5, right? And then I got all these charts. All these charts, which I kind of skimmed through. I'm not going to lie, bro. I was like, I looked at this, data analysis. I looked at this a little bit. And I think this one was a low score. Percentage of games over 100%. He was actually in the low end, which actually was like, wow. Like, it's so hard to tell because right here, I think they said, where is that at? Here it is. Hans actually has one of the lower percentages of near perfect games when compared to similar players. Interesting, right? You would think it'd be much higher if he's really cheating, but I mean, also it could be like this. It's just different. It's weird here. Definitely weird. Definitely some strange data all around. Strange data. Strange. Here's the conclusion. After Hans beat Magnus and Magnus withdrew from Singfield Cup, We removed Hans from chess.com's upcoming CGC and withdrew his access to the site until we can conduct further review. While Magnus's actions prompted us to reassess the situation, Magnus did not talk with us in advance about our decisions or ask for or directly influence those decisions at all. Magnus is operating entirely under his own direction. Influence those decisions at all. Magnus I'm about to say, wait, hold up. I read it. Magnus is operating entirely under his own direction, as is chess.com. However, given the circumstances, which included a player who had a significant and admitted history of cheating, the world chess champion making the loudest statement in chess history, and an invitational event starting in a matter of days, which is basically now the U.S. championships up. We felt we had to act. We communicated privately with Hans via email. We never wanted or intended to have a public discussion about these decisions, and frankly, we believe we could have resolved things privately. We understand that the timing of our email and Hans' publicizing of it may have led a number of people in the chess community to believe that chess.com knew Hans was cheating over the board or was under pressure from Magnus or had some new device indicating that Hans was cheating OTB. The much less interesting truth is that none of this is true. While there are many remarkable signals and unusual patterns in Hans' path as a player, and while some games, behaviors, and actions are hard to understand, chess.com is unaware of any concrete evidence proving that Hans is cheating over the board, or has he ever cheated over the board. Still nothing. There's still nothing. Chess.com has historically not been involved in OTB or classical chess fair play decisions, as we do not run OTB or classical chess events. And then, okay, this is a lot. I actually did not know. I think I just didn't read the rest of this, but let's see it. Our investigation has revealed that while there has been some noteworthy online play that has caught our attention as suspicious since August 2020, we are unaware of any evidence that Hans has engaged in online cheating since then. Our investigation has concluded that he did, however, cheat much more than he has publicly admitted to, including in many prize events and at least 25 streamed games and 100+ rated games. Bruh. Wow, that's actually ridiculous. On Chess.com as recently as when he was 17 years old. Interesting. We believe Hans is an incredibly strong player and a talented individual. That said, given his history on our site, we did not believe we could ensure that he would play fairly in our online events until we could reevaluate the evidence in our protocols. Nevertheless, and to be clear, it is not our position that Hans should be limited or banned from OTB chess. Hans' online and OTB behaviors may be completely different, and that should be taken into consideration. We have shared our findings with FIDE and will cooperate with any investigation or requests they pursue. It is our belief that OTB event organizers should be taking much stronger precautions against cheating by all players to ensure fair play. Oh, it's about to get real strict out here, boy. Bruh. It's about to be real strict. I'm telling you, it's going to be like, yeah, you got to wear this. Like, here, we're providing your clothes for you, right? Like, it's going to be that serious, especially for big money events, right? To keep the game fair, all players should be playing under the same conditions and checked before, during, and after matches, using the appropriate technologies and methods to counter any outside assistance. Who will be hiring TSA. Oh no, we said that. That was us. Excuse me. We reiterate our message of September 8th, 2022, and that we like to have a conversation with Hans to provide an explanation and response with the hope of finding a resolution where Hans can again participate on chess.com. We want the best for Hans. We want the best for Magnus. We want the best for chess. We want stability, fairness, and joy in our chess community, not turbulence, conspiracy, and accusations. We have a role to play in this, and we acknowledge that we can do better in our transparency, timing, and messaging moving forward, and looking forward to cooperating with FIDE and others in chess community to serve the game. Eric Danny and the fairplaychess.com. That's it. That's it. That's it. It's out. It's out there, Chad. It's out there. Now, I scroll though, the rest is a whole lot of stuff that I'm not going to read to you. I'm just going to be honest with you. There's a lot of charts, a lot of articles, a lot of emails, a lot of this, a lot of that. I'm sure you want to read that. For the people that want to look at all of that, absolutely you can, 100%, but we ain't going to do it over here for the sake of obviously YouTube, and obviously we just don't want to for the sake of that. But of course, this was the for the people over at YouTube. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel and watch the other stuff too as well, chat. So we'll see y'all in the next video.